here at this scouting combine. Defensive ends and edge rushers off and running. 1.66 split and a 4.85 to start us off.
Solid first run there.
So Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 prospects as Aaron Glenn looks on for the Jets. Fernando Mendoza 1. Jeremiah Love, who we'll also see on Saturday here on NFL Network, the running back from Notre Dame 2. And then number 3 is David Bailey. 4.162 is the split. 4.51 for David Bailey. That is a box checked.
Yeah, and I said those top guys 4.55. He went right underneath that, and I think he didn't have a total clean start either. I think he can go faster and potentially get into the 4.4s.
We'll see for his second time, but
that little stumble initially there, and then he got out and rolled.
I mean, the guys who are 4 and 5 on your list, Marvell Reese and Sonny Styles, are all in the running for a top 10 pick, if not maybe second overall in this draft. Jay Sean Barham.
He's a good player. He's running.
Terrific at Michigan. A 1.61 split, 4.65 40-yard dash.
When you watch him, you can see him close from the backside. He can really run. You saw it as evidenced by that 4.65. They'll use him, kind of let him walk around and blitz from different entry points. And I thought he was really, really twitchy.
His teammate. 1.64 split. And a 4.64 40.
Really good time. So are we going to start seeing a lot of Virginia Tech kids run fast 40s out here now?
I don't know. We'll find out if it's a James Franklin thing or a Penn State thing.
Yeah. All right, this is going to be a good one here.
Okay,
I'm ready for this one.
See it happen.
Yeah, he's rolling. Starting to stride it out a little bit.
4.7 flat.
He can run faster than that. We'll see what he does on the next one.
All right.
This dude
39 vert for height, not too shabby.
He plays hard.
Nice split. 4.64.
Great. Him and Bailey coming off the edge with Lee Hunter inside. You start to realize why Texas Tech was in the college football playoff.
Yeah. He's 21 on Daniel Jeremiah's draft board at a combine, running a 40 with a great split and a nice time.
He's another one that's going to be a part of the arm conversation. His arms are shorter than Reuben Baines, but you see him win with the speed and burst off the edge, and he never stops. Both those guys very relentless players. But again, part of the conversation. 4.6 flat. I think he can get below that here with his second run.
Bain is 6th overall.
Yeah, he's 6th overall. And
he's your 3rd pass rusher. Tavius Hutchins.
It's a smooth and easy 4.74.
All right, here we go. Nice split, nice time. 4.74. Let's take a break. We've got defensive ends running. All right, here's what you missed while we were in commercial break. Nigel Kelly, UCF.
Definitely a better 10 than a 40, and you'd rather have the 10, so you take that.
And his teammate Malachi Lawrence.
He's a good player.
Nice split.
He is flying.
4.53.
Well, we got a fun comp. We'll get back to that one in a little bit. There's a fun comp for him with that time.
He threatened Bailey right there. Max Llewellyn. .485.
Solid.
Here comes Trey Moore.
He can
split. 4.55. All right, so we're seeing some 4.5s now, some 4.6, sub 4.6s as we're back live. That's a fit.
That was asked about it. I said that is not a home run hire. That is a grand slam hire.
Why do you say that?
He is awesome. He's a technician in terms of how he builds defense. There's a 4.91 there for LT Overton. But in terms of the scheme and preparing for opponents, off the charts. But to me, being around him with the Chargers, seeing him interact with players, the interpersonal communication, I think he's, for this new generation of player, he is perfect. He's a little bit better on tape in 24 than 25, but he finished up strong against South Carolina, was awesome in the Senior Bowl. That's a great 10 split. Stride. That's awesome. That's great for him. That's a really good time for him.
Charles?
Hey, guys, you know, with TJ Parker, and you just mentioned DJ, better on tape in 24 than 25. Big finish, right, against South Carolina with the 3 sacks. How do you evaluate that as a scout, right? As a person evaluating a player, how much do you lean on 24 versus 25? Where do you give the edge?
Be a nice compliment to Khalil Shakir and those tight ends.
26th overall, the Bills draft.
He's running.
Riger with a nice split, and then a 4.79, sub 4.8 40.
R. Mason Thomas came in at 212 pounds at Oklahoma and has built himself up. He's built his body up, and he's built up as a player. They lost his lid. Lost his hat about the 30, 35-yard mark there. But a really solid time, 4.67. I went back and was watching some of his stuff from 24 and wanted to see that. And, man, he in the LSU game, he got after Will Campbell pretty good in that game. 14.5 sacks, 2 sacks in the Senior Bowl.
He's rolling. 4.74. Charles?
Wesley Williams is a good player. Has a nice long arm move. He another one had a nice all-star game, the East-West game with a sack safety.
4.9 flat. There he goes.
A long stride.
4.85.
That's what he is.
Daniel Jeremiah's overall draft board. Fernando Mendoza 1, Jeremiah Love 2, and then 3 is the guy on your screen. From Irvine, California, by way of Texas Tech. And Stanford.
Looked like a better start. Wow, that's surprising.
He'll stick with his first run.
I think he just needs to relax a little bit. He wasn't happy with that time. Nice to be not happy with a time that's that good. That's a great time.
And by the way, I mean, you want to comp out with somebody. Brian Burns is a terrific guy to comp out with. Certainly, if you want to comp out with his compensation. While we were out, here is the second run of Denied Dennis Sutton. It's 2 terrific times.
Yeah, 2 really solid times.
I said terrific. You said really solid.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got faster to go at his pro day, Rich. I'm trying to put a little carrot out there for him.
All right, he's gums, damn it. 4.66. Look at that. Height. Stays about even. 4.6 flat is a 4.6 flat runner. Stacy?
Rich, Cassius was a fantastic baseball player. And he told me this week, if you ask any one of my folks, they'll probably tell you I was better at baseball than I am at football. And so I said, well, what did you play? Outfield anywhere. He used to pitch 2-seam fastball, his best pitch, big-time home run hitter, but he had to stop, obviously, when he was around 13 to play football. Favorite player, Johnny Cueto, Royals World Series 2015. Remember, he grew up in Kansas City.
Sure. Okay. Here we go. By the way, you see the Hutchins run. Did you see Howell is tied for the unofficial best 10-yard split?
Oh, there you go.
Which that is what you're looking for, too. You're looking for that.
1,000%, way more important.
4.74 has been improved upon. 4.7 flat.
is, but the depth to me is kind of the secret sauce for how you guys are able to get all the way to the finish line. As you're at an event like this, not only guys you could be looking at the bottom of the first round, but really all throughout the draft. How important is it to build out the depth of your defensive front?
Well, the whole team, and this is coming from John, but like how we, it's really not a 53 or a 46. It's a 70-man roster that we take into the season, and the right percentage. So it's just, you want to be waves of defense, and to be able to play that style, you need to have waves of D linemen, to play that certain way. So, it's fun. It's fun to develop, and you're practicing those guys, and like we're trying to train everybody all the time, and then when those guys finally get a crack to do it, in real life, when we're rocking and rolling, it's cool to see them come to life. Yeah.
But how much easier does it make it on an evaluation when there's a match between when you see a guy moving around out here versus what you saw on the tape as well?
Yeah, totally. And the process is sped up too. Back in the day, you'd be sitting there and you have to write everything in, and the results come in. But now we're rolling. Now you can compare guys in real time. This is like the last year that you had guys. Yeah, so it's cool to see ones that I maybe attempted to recruit going, I actually saw some of the guys in the interviews. I was like, man, I screwed up the whole recruiting process. Like, if you went to Michigan, it would have been way better, I promise.
Right.
But maybe it didn't communicate that the greatest way when we were there. But you're happy for them, like at that stage in their lives, juniors in high school, they got the whole life ahead of them, and to see what they do in college and be in this position is pretty cool.
Baltimore. Now being the head coach for Seattle, that you saw at a combine and you're like, okay, I need to do some more digging on this guy. You wind up drafting him, and off we go. Who is that?
Yeah, I mean,
the one that stands out.
We're rocking and rolling. We're in a great spot here. So
I have a feeling tomorrow night when we're talking about that defensive back group, Daniel, we're going to be like, who's the next Nick Emanwari? Because he was such a unicorn hero last year, too, and we were watching him, We were talking about him as well.
There's so few of those guys in the league. I do the Charger games. I see Derwin, on a weekly basis, and you look at Hamilton with the Ravens, as well. It's hard to find guys in that body type that can do all the things those guys are doing. Well, I want to ask you, Coach, is, we talk about pass rush. Now, how important is it these guys can also play the run to be able to play the coverage shells you want to play, having guys that can be stout? You're fortunate you've got guys that can do both, especially in the interior. Those guys are rare.
Yeah, there's you play shell, you're missing a guy in the box. And so we talk about 12 as one. We want to play like you're playing, like it feels like you're playing against 12 guys instead of 11. So in order to do
So you could see our coverage at the bottom of the screen. You can see the graphic that our coverage is brought to you by Microsoft Copilot. What are you doing with Microsoft Copilot, Coach?
Well, I think what it allows you to do now is to expedite the comparisons. You used to have to go back and kind of rack your brain on how guys compared to guys, or even just getting the numbers in real time. So now all those questions get answered almost immediately, and really there's no really end point in what you can figure out. It's really what you can think of as can generate that type of information. It only helps our process. We talk about chasing edges. Maybe it's just one data point that's going to help us. Let's go take advantage of it.
All right. Interesting. Duke player was just not whistled for traveling. That's weird.
Wow. He's not letting that go.
I got another Michigan help.
I know.
They just let the guy just run.
You guys are still adjusting to being a basketball
whistle.
school again. It's just taking a minute to get readjusted there.
That was weird. Great to have you here.
Thanks.
Sorry to drag you down to my level.
No, it's good.
Congrats again, Coach.
That's the Super Bowl winning head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Mike McDonald, right here.